If you could describe your community in one word, what word would you choose?
Hope. Hopeful.
The same.
Same. It takes a village to raise a child. As a society, we have been permanently chained to this slogan, however being true in nature. A community is essential in the upbringings of a human being, making everlasting impressions of culture, language, and behaviors that direct the person's route in life. We are theoretically a blank slate, being born into this world, give or take a few genetic responsibilities, and must accept the social contracts that inscribe us. It is fundamental in belief. The place that we are raised largely predicts the outcomes and opportunities in our life. That could be used to one's advantage or invoke devastating, involuntary consequences. However it may be impacted, a larger discussion illustrates that we are a product of our community. The mindsets and actions that are present further shape the thoughts and decisions of a child being raised in that community. The community that I studied is regarded as the neighborhood of Vermont Square in South Los Angeles, and it is defined by the boundaries of Martin Luther King Street and 54th Street on the north and south, and South Van Nuys Avenue and the Harbor Freeway on the west and east respectively. The neighborhood resides north of Vermont Slauson and Harvard Park, and just south of Exposition Park.
We're at Fandango's, tacos, burritos, and hamburgers, and it's now called, well, it was called Panchitos, but now it's called Fandango's.
Okay.
And we're just here chilling, waiting for our food, because it usually takes like 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys usually do here?
Play around, fight. Well, I don't fight. They play around, they bust jokes, they make the people here mad. We do everything but eat.
You guys think this is a pretty dangerous area right here?
No.
For students?
No.
It depends on what type of students hang
Because
out.
it's kind of the corner, so that is kind of dangerous at the same time. But then it's not because, well, I don't think these people really care about us. They don't care if we get hurt because they really don't care. They'll just call the school on us.
Do you
Like
consider
3
this
blocks?
like a good option for you guys in terms of food? Like
Yeah.
healthy?
Oh, no.
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 Why is it not healthy?
It's fatty.
Oh, it's fatty. But you guys have like a grocery store around here, or do you guys have
We just have that store right
what is that store?
Liquor store.
And what do you guys get there to eat?
there.
Chips.
And
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Coffee.
Sodas.
if
Gatorade.
Oh yeah?
you're Hot
Noodles.
chocolate.
Candy.
Like if someone from the outside would view this community, what do you think they would think?
That it was just like ghetto. Like, there's always something going on, but it's not necessarily always. Like, I mean, yeah, they have like this community has its problems and its ups and downs, but it's actually a really nice community.
Like imagine that you had a friend that was in a different part of LA, and they had this stereotype that this community was, quote, ghetto, right? Or, you know, or dirty or dangerous. How would you change their perspective if they came here?
I would just bring him here and like show him like how it is, like, cause it's not a bad community. It's the people that make it bad.
Yeah, it's just like certain type of people. Because like, and where like I live, like there's there's like certain houses that like they'll keep like their area clean, and then like you'll go to the next house and it's like all trashy. It's just depending on like
who you know and where you go.
Like how's your personality. If like you like your house trashy, then that's how your house is gonna be. If you like your house clean, then that's just how it's gonna be. And I feel like they just get it all wrong. We're not a group. We're just one person. They do their thing and we do ours.
How would you characterize your community?
Quiet, peaceful, somewhat. Yeah.
Just your street or the greater neighborhood?
Our street. Yeah.
Okay, so the street's peaceful. So nothing really happens on your street? Everyone knows each other?
Basically, almost.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, they broke the window.
Oh, did they really?
My mom's car yesterday, so.
How would you characterize the community physically?
A lot of trees.
Are there any businesses?
No.
There's no businesses. Okay, when I mean community, I don't mean only your street. When I mean community, I mean like Vermont, the whole Vermont street,
Oh, yeah.
all the way up to maybe even Manual Arts,
A lot of,
all the way down to even Slauson.
there's a lot of underrated shops.
Underrated shops?
Yeah.
So they're not like franchised or anything? But what types of companies are there? Like what type of shops do you use?
Over here it's like pawn shops and wire stand and stuff. And like,
There's a lot of liquor stores around here, just mini markets, things of that sort. Not big corporations or big franchises around here, except for McDonald's and Burger King. Got a lot
So
of
there's
those.
food franchises.
Yeah,
Are there any other businesses besides ones that sell drinks or food?
grocery store. Yeah, that counts. It's a franchise, but it's not like fast food. That's the only big franchise that I see around here. Corporation. You don't get too many, big outlets or anything around here. Too much. You might see one here and there. Swap meets, stuff like that.
How would you characterize the people in this community?
We have a variety of people that live here. We got Hispanic people, Black people, just a mix of race.
According to the Los Angeles Times, Vermont Square has a population of 47,555 and spans 2.45 square miles. The neighborhood is predominantly home to Latinos, which are 46%, and Blacks, which hold 39%, and maintains the average household income of $29,904, one of the lowest in Los Angeles. And the education statistics don't seem ever appealing. Only a little more than 10% have a high school diploma, and only 5.3% of residents 25 and older have a 4-year degree. 32% of the community identify as having a Mexican ancestry, while a little over 2% identify as having a Belizean ancestry. That makes a little more than 38% of the residents foreign-born, which is above average for the city of Los Angeles. In your opinion, who has the power in this community in sense of politics? Do you know that question? In this community, do you guys know anything about politics?
yeah.
If anyone controls it, or what the characteristics of those people might be?
I think it was when they ran for mayor.
They just want power.
They just want to seem cooler than the rest, but like what people don't really know is just that they actually send they send other people to do their dirty work instead of them doing it, which makes them unsuperior.
So it's more about the title and power?
Yeah.
But it's not it's not about what you do, it's who you
How you
are.
do it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're doing something wrong, then you're gonna be known for doing bad things. But if you do good things and like help out people, you'll have a good reputation and people will respect you.
Do you think there's an incentive to joining a gang?
No.
When I asked about the community's power structure or knowledge of any politics, most of the students could not answer. They resorted speaking about the gang activity and quote, gangbangers who just wanted a sense of title and power. When I spoke to the dean of students at Lou Dantzler, a prevalent community member who has ties with the local structure, she characterized the individuals who are actively exercising political power as strong and passionate. The individuals that are responding back to the community are similar to others that live in the area because they care about the upkeeping and the safety of the community. The people in educational issues tend to be different people in those in community politics. Marguerite Lamonte is a school board member representing District 1, which serves this community. She has been characterized by the Director of Policy for LAUSD, A. Solomon, as, quote, an old school policymaker that is holding her district back from much needed reform and improvements. The dean admitted that she has not seen this board member step into the community recently. To get a broader picture, I thought it was necessary to seek a community activist. Kishin Toulos is a father, a pastor, and a community leader. I called him and asked him his thoughts on teachers as community members and leaders.
That question is not enough. Literally not enough. When it comes to social engagement, I think that one of the political things within the community, I think the teacher voice is not being heard enough. That's why so many individuals are developing policies and different procedures that's putting more of a burden on the classroom than it should be. So if I was to answer that question, I would say it's not enough. But there are different programs, as you know, like Teach of America, Student First, and different things of that magnitude that tries to do their best to leverage the voice of the teacher. Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
So is that perfect?
Yeah, that's a great answer. But to follow with that, do the community members encourage or discourage teachers from getting involved?
The organization that I run, National Action Network, we do our best to encourage all teachers to be involved in the aspects of politics or whatever it might be. In that response, I think the invitation is there for teachers, but a lot of times, because of their commitment in the classroom that goes over and beyond the hours of the school day, I think that many times it hinders them from being involved in a lot of the social and political aspects of the work. The achievement gap is one of the most talked about issues in U.S. education. The term refers to disparities in scores between the Black and white, Latino and white, and recent immigrants and white students. Gloria Latson Billings instructed us in 2006 to look at the education debt that has accumulated over time. This debt comprises historical, economic, socio-political, and moral components. She argues that the magnitude of the education debt erodes the trust and represents a portion of the debt service that teachers and administrators pay each year against what they might rightfully invest in helping students achieve academically. Latson notes that the highest poverty school districts receive fewer resources than lowest poverty districts. I interviewed the 8th grade English teacher, Miss Pollard, on her experiences with educational offerings and their evaluations in the community.
I grew up in this community right on 50th and Hoover. I moved over there when I was about 10, and there was no way in the world that my family would let me go to any school anywhere remotely close to this neighborhood. The schools had a bad reputation for not having quality teachers, quality instructors, quality programs, not enough money being put into those systems, and so I was literally bussed out. I had to get up early in the morning, about 5:30, be at the bus stop by 6 a.m., and I rode the bus to West LA from 6th through 12th grade in order to get what my parents thought was a quality education for me. Matter of fact, one of my elementary school teachers told my mother not to send me to a school in our neighborhood. He actually told us about the school that I went to, and he literally went up to my mother and told her, do not send me to the local schools and to send me to apply for this school. And that's what I did. So it shows that the community members don't really value the education that is provided in this area. They don't see the quality. They don't see the system actually working for the students and the people in the community. I'm well aware of the fact now that the schools that need it most really don't get the funding. It's the schools who perform well that get more funding, which kind of doesn't make any sense because it's the schools who aren't performing who need the funds to get the materials and the extra resources to help the schools perform better. And so I guess that's what my family was aware of, that issue already when I was younger, and that's why they didn't allow me to go to schools in the community, because they understood that we weren't getting the resources and the programs and the assistance that we needed in this community. I never heard my family say about what they thought the money should be spent on as far as schools. They do believe that they should spend it more in the areas or the communities where they need more funding because of poor performance. However, I think that the creation of charter schools now is kind of trying to create that balance, or the place where students can get the appropriate education with the appropriate resources in their communities. And I think that's the mission of a lot of charter schools in the area, is to not have kids leaving and traveling by bus for hours to a school outside of their neighborhood, finding good places where kids can feel safe and can learn adequately and have the appropriate resources to assist them. And so I believe that's what the charter school system locally is about and what it's here for. So I hope that the money we're funding and putting in to the schools through taxes are reaching those schools. I see sometimes that it doesn't, especially as a teacher, when we need and want for so many basic things like papers and pencil sharpeners, pens, and things for the students. But hopefully it funnels down.
Live in some of LA's urban areas, filling those after-school hours can mean the difference between gang life and a productive life. Our Straight from the Streets team of Keith O'Derrick discovered an inner-city after-school program that demands and gets excellent.
Preventing school dropout and promoting successful graduation is a national concern that poses a significant challenge for school and educational communities working with youth at risk for school failure. Sandra Christensen and Martha Thurlow discussed in their 2004 article that prevention, considerations, interventions, and challenges of school dropouts. They suggest that the most effective intervention programs identify and track youth at risk for school failure, maintain a focus on students' progress toward educational standards across the school years, and are designed to address indicators of school engagement and to impact enrollment standards, not just the predictors of dropout. Challengers Boys and Girls Club is not only the home of Lou Dancer Middle School, but the rock that holds the community together. It provides all-encompassing support for the students and children of the community. President Bush Sr. spoke at the club after the 1992 Los Angeles riots to discuss the hope he saw after times of hatred. He proudly claimed that Challengers maintained untouched by the riots, and its founder, Lou Dancer, made sure it was a source of safety for the community, and the former president marked him as a hero for it.
How do you like Challengers?
Well, I think it's actually fun and cool. Like, they have a lot of programs that we can do. It's fun.
So why do you stay here after school?
Well, because I can get my homework done. There's activities that I can do, lose some weight, and yeah.
Do you think it improves you with your character, academics, or anything like that?
Yes, they teach us how to act right, how to citizenship, how to just be together.
And if you weren't here, what would you be?
At home doing nothing.
You're at home doing nothing.
The bus stop has been a center for the students to meet before and after school, while providing a safe transportation for the students right next to the school site.
Okay, well, taking the bus is kind of fun because you have all your friends, you can talk to them. And the bus is kind of safe. I wouldn't say too safe because there are fights and arguments sometimes. And a lot of students and workers take the bus. And the community here is not bad, but it's like not safe either. It's better to like take the bus home, better than to walk. And like the bus, it's kind of like a culture thing here, but like I don't know, a lot of people take it.